The next morning they keep checking it. It's not fixed.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's like,
the
what's
funny
going
thing
on?
is because I went for the PS3 copy of Portal. It's like I can't play Portal 2 on my PC because the PSN is down because I haven't gotten a chance to transfer over my
And you
Steam
can't
account
play
yet.
co-op either,
Yeah.
which is one of the big draws and one of the big improvements in that game.
I
And
do-
then there's Mortal Kombat, which is all about head-to-head play.
Yep.
Well, I
Granted,
do find
the
it
single
really,
player's great, but
it's really ironic that not 2 weeks ago we were sitting here discussing how great the multiplayer was for Resistance and Uncharted 3 and Ratchet and Clank. Well, not so much for Ratchet and Clank, but even Twisted Metal looked, pretty fun. But now, that's what they've just basically lost all that good press and positive buzz around their multiplayer stuff because their multiplayer system is janky.
will you guys put your credit card information back on PSN when it comes back up?
Fuck no.
Probably not. I mean, like I said, my card wasn't even working for some reason. I've been having to use cards to buy stuff.
I will say that there is there's an old British phrase that if you pay peanuts you get monkeys, and basically you get the service you pay for, and because it's free, there are people who are going to say, people are going to say, well, you get what you deserve. I think the Sony need to buck up their ideas. Sony still, in my opinion, don't understand really well how to execute a multiplayer gaming service. I know people criticize Xbox a lot, but what Microsoft did was smart was they had the MSN Gaming Zone, which was out there 10, 15 years ago when we were playing PC games, and that was the basis for Xbox Live, where they moved that over and merged it. So they do understand, and Microsoft seemed pretty secure about it. Sony, however, I mean, their whole system's still a freaking mess as far as I'm concerned.
Well, you've got to hope, too, that Microsoft, with all the money we give them for Xbox Live, that if something like this were to happen to Xbox Live, you would hope that they would have a team ready to go.
Oh, yeah, but
and they
it'd be-
could get the problem fixed in a moderate amount of time. I think a couple days we could all tolerate, but this is a week.
Well, Sony's hired an outside firm.
Right, which means they were not prepared to handle something like this internally.
Well, no,
That's
that's
pretty
the
interesting.
investigation term. That's the investigation team. It's an outside security team to investigate the issue.
But they
So,
should be
yeah,
able to
they
do
don't
that
have
on
an internal
their own. I mean, if they're going to be prepared to fix problems like this as they happen, then they need a team that can
Do
investigate
you think there's
internally.
any chance it could have been an internal job?
Who knows?
Let's start that rumor.
I mean, and so maybe the anonymous group aren't the ones that did it. The bottom line is that Sony was messing with the hacking community at large. So maybe other hackers were like, yeah, they can't do anything about it, but we sure can.
What's Phil Harrison up to nowadays?
So hopefully next week when we do the show, we're not talking about this again, and hopefully it's fixed, and hopefully Sony has done a make good and given us all a free month of PlayStation Plus or something, or given us a free game.
I think, honestly, the first thing, they need to get it up. They need to get it secure. They need to make their system better front end and back end. They need to be way more savvy about it. And I mean, this is something that I have an issue with ironically, the other Japanese company and Nintendo. Xbox, Steam, those guys generally tend to get it. Games for Windows Live is a bag of shit. Always will be, always has been. But Xbox seem to get it. And yes, we are paying